Good. And then, so do you want to actually? I'm gonna ask you a few questions before we start as well, like actual VOD review. Um,
Yep.
we'll start with the Falco one. Let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see that well.
Just give me one second. There we go. Yep, I can see it.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you.
Okay, before we talk about the set, let me explain what it is.
Okay.
This is a noob tournament, only noobs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
the one ran on Mondays.
this is Thursdays,
Third.
but
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know the one.
the
Yeah.
Tired of O2 is on
Mondays.
Mondays.
Yeah. Okay.
This is grand finals, so I'm a little nervous. I was on loser's side.
Okay.
I also lost in winners final to the same guy.
Okay. Okay. And is this the entire set?
Yeah, it was only a best of three for whatever reason.
Oh, okay. That
So
makes
there's
sense.
only two games.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's good to know. I was gonna ask you specifically though, before going into the set. I mean, you said you lost this guy in winners, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Before you went to in this set or even the other one, but let's focus on this one specifically. Did you have any type of game plan, like any thought process behind kind of what you were trying to go for before the set even happened? Like, were you like, okay, like, did you have a game plan? Is essentially what I'm trying to ask.
definitely not a very like coherent game plan, like how I'm gonna, like approach and stuff. One of the things I do remember specifically against Falco is I'm not gonna try. Well, I probably didn't even like stick to this game plan, but one of like the specific things I remember just to not try like shield grabbing, but I probably did because that's definitely a bad habit I have. I'm sure of it, but and just to like roll out a shield more when I'm getting pressured.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times I'll jump or try to grab out a shield, and I
Mm.
wanted to roll instead because I feel like it's harder for newer players to punish rolls rather than it is for.
It's hard for any players to really punish Falcon's role, especially his forward
Mhm.
role. I I I've found really good. Um, I found it to be very beneficial, I guess you could say, to just roll a lot of the times. Like, because how I look at it, and this kind of lead me into how, like a game plan idea. How I look at the Falco matchup is the things that Falco, or how I look at game plans in general, is what do I want, what do they want, and then vice versa. So,
Mhm.
what do they want and not want, right? And for
Right,
instance, with Falco, it's very simple. Falco wants to shine. That's
right.
like that's what he wants. Even at pretty high percents, he wants to shine usually. But at least in low to mid, even slightly high percents, he wants shine. And the times where I find most people are getting shined, like as Falcon, is when they're trying to act at a shield when they shouldn't. And so they're trying to jump at a shield, like you said. They're trying to grab, or they might, whatever it
Mhm.
is. And almost always, it's like if you roll, you pretty much are just fine. And a lot of the times, especially, especially around your skill level, is like you said, they're not going to be able to punish it. Um,
Mhm.
and if you can stop Falco from getting that shine, there's not really a lot of ways for him other than obviously just getting, like a dare shine or whatever. But if you don't allow him to get those easy shines and you make him work for it, you can start hitting him harder than you hit him, right? Or at least getting
Mhm.
potentially more opportunities. And that's how I kind of like to think about most matchups in the game is like, what do they want? And then I try to
Right.
avoid that. Like with Sheik, they want to grab. With Mart, they want to grab. With Fox, it's a shine or a grab, right? It always leads
Right.
to one specific thing. And then you can abstract that a bit more and think about, well, with Fox, it's mostly they're running in with a nair and then a shine. With Mart, they might wall me and then grab, or they might raw grab me. Sheik, it's usually raw grab or needle grab, right? And then Falco,
Right.
it's typically laser and then maybe approach with an area or laser approach and then catch me and then shine, right? Or
Mhm.
catch me and shield and shine. But the whole thing is it comes down to without going any extrapolating any further. It just comes down to like they want to shine specifically with Falco. So if you could mitigate that, and honestly, I find it just rolling is like the best thing you can do. Like I played versus Albert and I beat him and I didn't try to aerial to shield. I didn't try to grab. I literally just rolled whenever he hit my shield and shined. Like I kind of changed the
Yeah.
timing, right? I wasn't always doing the same timing of the roll, but I almost
Yeah.
always pretty much rolled because I'm like, if he gets a shine, he can get a pretty meaty combo. He's got a good combo game, right?
Right.
So that's kind of how I typically think about matchups, specific or like game plans for matchups. Now there's more to it than just what they want and what they don't want, but it's a good starter of kind of, creating the macro behind what you want, right? And then you can furthermore look at from what you want, right? And coincidentally, what you want is what they don't want to happen to them, right? So in our case, we want a knockdown, and that either comes in the form of a grab, more likely not, a stomp, maybe a nair, or knee, right? But the main ones really I tell people against Falco is stomp, grab, and knee is pretty much all you really want. Lower percents, especially like grab. You could obviously hit them with a nair or whatever, but the one things that you're really trying to look for, those things that lead to either a launch, like a launcher they call it, like stomp, or to a tech chase, right? So and those, if you can live by that, it helps a lot. Now, actually, implementing that is a whole different story, right?
Of course.
But if you have that kind of idea, as you start to play more Falcos and you start to think about that and look at your VODs like we're doing here, or just in general think about the game, you'll start to kind of see the situations where you're like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I should have rolled here, or I should have done this, or whatever. But specifically, the one thing as well I want to lead into is that a lot of Falcons against Falco, the reason why they have trouble is because they don't know when they're at an advantage. And what I mean by that is they don't know necessarily when it's safe to like counterattack or attack a Falco, right? So you see a lot of times, and that kind of plays into like acting on a shield, or maybe they approach with like a laser and then you jump and then you get caught, stuff like that. So and then maybe they try to jump into the laser, and it's really hard for a lot of players to kind of see when they're actually advantageous, and so they happen to play in disadvantage quite often. Your whole goal is to make it as hard as you can to your opponent. So playing in disadvantage is the opposite of what you want to do. Now again, these are kind of like generalized kind of concepts, but again, I kind of have to lay these out first and foremost, and they might not be necessarily on your mind before I brought them up, but I have to lay them out before we actually go into the set, because then we can start pinpointing those specific micro situations.
Okay.
But essentially, those are the main things, gameplay wise, and kind of just the idea of playing at an advantage and not playing at a disadvantage, that I kind of want you to think about a bit while we're going through this set. Right. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
In case, is there sound or is there no sound?
There's sound.
Okay, let's do no sound. Don't really need it. Okay. I'm gonna try. I'm also gonna say I'm gonna try not to, because I don't know how long you've been playing for.
I've been playing for like a year and a half almost, I think. I don't know, something like that.
Okay. I'm not going to go too in depth, or I'm going to try not to focus too much on the tech clubs, like missed out cancels or stuff like that. Because we'd be here forever, right?
Of course. Yeah. Like a lot of times you'll see me be on the edge of a platform doing up smash when I'm trying to just run off and up air.
Well, you know what that is? It's just you doing things too fast. Melee is one of those things where you feel like you need to do it so fast. And I remember Toph was talking about this not too long ago, probably about 6 or 7 months ago. I don't know if he made a tweet or a video about it or whatever, or we just talked about it on a stream, but he was discussing how you melee's so fast and you feel like you need to be so fast that you kind of lose the fluidity of your motions, and then you start doing things too quickly. And it's like once you kind of slow down a little bit and be more fluid with your actions, you start having to not play and needing to play that fast, especially with someone like Falcon. Falcon's very fast, but he's also very laggy compared to a character like Fox, right?
Yeah.
And even Fox, you might think you still have to play extremely fast, but the character itself, it feels so fast, and you feel like you have like so much you need to do. But if you just keep it very fluid and very natural, and that's hard to do. But it's much easier than trying to force yourself to go fast, right? You're like, oh, I need to hit
Mhm.
this, and it kind of comes from that idea of like, oh, I need to hit this, and that kind of makes you, you're like, oh, I'm on the platform, I'm gonna run off up air, I need to hit this, so you do it as fast as possible, and you're like, I need to do it on this timing, instead of just kind
Yeah.
of going with how the game is actually operating, right?
Right. Yeah. Like I can tell you, like almost every smash attack, except there'll be certain times where I'm intentionally doing a smash attack, but like almost all of them, I'm either trying to do like a run off up air, back air, or do a knee or something, and just like I did like a jump cancel or something, or just didn't jump and just forward smashed, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that happens to me a decent amount.
I feel
So
that.
I'm sure you'll see it in the set. I can't remember if I did or not, but I'm sure I did at least a few times.
Oh, I don't doubt that we'll definitely see it. Especially if you're already aware of that. Like that,
Yeah.
there's definitely a good chance it does.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm even though I can't remember, I'm sure it happened like multiple times.
Um, the one other thing I was gonna say, and already immediately, again, I know it's a tech flub, but with Falcon, the idea behind Nair specifically, especially when you're doing like an approaching Nair, is doing a no fast fall Nair is almost always the best.
Okay.
Because you fast fall it here, and if you didn't fast fall it here, you would have hit him.
Hmm.
But the idea in general with Falcon is it's better to fast fall if you need to fast fall, but otherwise don't fast fall with a Nair, especially if you're approaching,
Yeah.
because it's not out for long. And not only that, but Falcon's advantage or his utility comes from his drift. So the
Right.
longer you're in the air, the more you can drift and the more space you can cover with your move, with your hitbox, right?
Hmm.
And so the instant you fast fall, especially with a move like Nair, where it's not out for as long as people realize, it's 2 hits, but the second hit isn't out for that long. You kind of gimp yourself when you fast fall it. So instead of it being you're covering, this space and here, you're only covering this space right here. Then
Hmm.
you know what I
Right.
mean.
Right.
And
Yeah, I never even thought about that. I
so
know that like a lot of times they'll tell you to like if you're doing an overshot knee as well, you don't want to fast fall. You just cover more space. Same with if you're trying to like catch like someone's double jump off stage. I know None was saying like, oh, yeah, you don't want to fast fall that
yeah,
just because it makes it like way harder.
makes it a
But
lot
yeah,
harder. And the thing is, the beauty of it is that if you don't fast fall, um, well, you always have the option to fast fall. But the instant you fast fall, I mean, it kind of sounds stupid, but the instant you fast fall, you don't have the option to unfast fall. So the more
right.
you can delay it or rather not use, the fast fall, like again, you cover more space and you also have the ability to all of a sudden do it if you need to, right?
Hmm.
But the rule of thumb almost always is like Nair, it's better to not fast fall it, except obviously like in combos. But if it's for neutral specifically, like you're not in a tech
Right.
chase, you're not in a combo, comboing a Marth or a Peach or a Sheik or whatever. It's best to not fast fall it and use your drift effectively, right?
Right.
Um, like see that Nair was better, right? Like
Okay.
that Nair was better. I mean, it wasn't a good Nair per se, but the execution and like the fact that you didn't really, you fast fall it fell when you should have, that was good.
Hmm. Okay.
Besides the tech flub afterwards, you could have gotten like a grab,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
fine. You're trying with okay. I like that you're walling good. Like you're recognizing that he's kind of in the corner. You're holding center stage well. Like you're playing the wall well. I will say he definitely could have just come down with a dare right here, right?
Hmm.
Understand that unless you're gonna beat Falco before he puts out a move when he's above you, if he's gonna come straight down with you, he's gonna beat you with his
Right.
with his dare. And unless of course he's like high percent, in which case you want the trade, which is good because he'll probably die. Lower percent is not necessarily the best thing to do.
Hmm.
That being said, though, it works out in your case. But I definitely would advise,
Yeah.
instead, like dash stands grabbing this. He's gonna come down with it. He's gonna come down lazily, just
Yeah.
dash to the right, and then come back in, and then grab him, or shield it because it's probably not gonna be a low aerial, and then you might be able to shield grab it or whatever, right?
Right.
But use the space, and instead of trying to head on attack.
Hmm. Yeah. After this, it starts going downhill anyway. So.
Another thing is be more aware of invincibility. Trying to attack here
Right.
when he's already in still invincibility. And if you're ever wondering, like, how do I deal with invincibility? You can either go to ledge, which is what I
Go
do.
to ledge.
It's really, really good, especially because
Right.
we're good. Like, we're good with refreshing invincibility, or Falcon is rather.
Mhm.
Or just try to make it hard, like use the platforms, run through them, stuff like that, right? Like make it difficult for them to hit you.
Yeah, I should definitely try to be more careful.
I definitely don't worry. I definitely do that where I'm like, I might be able to catch them just while they're out of hits or out of invincibility, and then I get punished because of it. So right here, this is one thing I knew was going to come up. It's kind of being aware of. Now you can't really necessarily react to this nair because you're too close, and his nair comes up pretty fast.
Right.
You kind of have to. You can sometimes react to people coming towards you, but you kind of have to understand that, like, maybe you might be able to actually. Let me see. 1, 2. Wait, what is this? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, you can't necessarily react to him jumping or his nair.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to. I'm trying to think of what I would exactly do here, because you're essentially attacking at a disadvantage. His move's already out, right? And this is the kind of concept I want to like ingrain in you of attacking. Not trying to attack.
Probably shouldn't have even been like dashing towards him anyway.
I think that's necessarily the thing, right? Like you have to react to the fact that they're coming towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are coming towards you, because he's coming towards you, I think you have enough time to react to him coming towards you. And then you see him coming towards you, you should be shielding, or you should be dashing. You shouldn't be trying to attack him, right?
Mm-hmm.
The idea with Falcon is that your hitboxes don't come out super fast, so you have to attack most of the time before they're approaching you. It's not like some characters where you can like throw the move out after their move's already out and you might be able to beat them, right? Like maybe Mark, just because the fact he has disjoint, or maybe Fox potentially, or whatever. Falcon, all of his aerials come out at earliest frame 10, whereas everyone else's aerials come out like frame 6 or 7. So you have to throw your aerials before they do if you're going to go for something like where you're stuffing. So you have to be faster, essentially, or you have to know and shield it, right? In this case, like you kind of had the idea already where you kind of had the thought already come across where you're like, I shouldn't have probably been approaching here. Which is good. But it's one of those things where it's hard. This is kind of a harder situation because there's not really a reaction point other than the fact that he's approaching you, right?
Right.
So it makes it difficult. That being said, your DI was really good off of the hit. It almost looked like I might have smashed DI'd it. I can't necessarily tell. Yeah, it looked like you smashed DI'd it, which is good.
Yeah. I've been trying to SDI Falco's moves, especially when I'm getting like comboed to like 80 million%. But I feel like I don't really know exactly which direction I should be SDIing.
Away.
Because I know in Chef Rock, one of his he had like a 2-minute video on Falco. He said SDI up when you're high and SDI down when you're low.
Yes.
But it's
almost better. So yeah, you can do that, but it's almost always easier just to SDI away, especially on a small stage like this.
That's what I've found against at least in my level. It's it's hard for people to fall. Just if they get a dare on me, but I'm too far to the left for them to react. That I'm all the way over there.
The reason he says to SDI up sometimes is because, or down, is because you can avoid getting shined, right? Or you might be able to double jump or whatever. In this case, like you said, it's much easier for you to just wiggle your stick left or right away and make it harder for them to get a punish, right?
Right.
That's what I do, and I find I have decent success. I don't always do the down and away or up and away or up or whatever SDI. I just do the away, especially on a smaller stage like this, because there's not really much room for Falco to do that. Whereas a stage like
Right.
FD, it's a kind of a different story. You as you get better at the game, it's almost necessary depending on how good the Falco is, especially because they'll start to cross you up with dare, and then that messes up your idea of SDIing away, right? Whereas like SDIing up doesn't care which if you hit on the left or the right.
Yeah.
But again, in most situations, it's almost always easier just to SDI a shine away,
Right.
Here, how do you shield drop?
Just the notch down method.
Like hold one way, like left or
Holding,
right,
yeah.
and then press down.
Normally, I'm holding left or right before I even get into shield.
Which is what you should do. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'll do like an aerial or like waveland, and I'm already holding into the direction before the shield comes out, and then I'll just
Press down
move
to the
it to a
notch.
notch down. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just curious because you missed that shield drop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
I think I might have tried to do it too fast and have started holding down.
Okay, another question I have is, do you use Uncle Punch at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I should probably use it more, of course, but
the one thing I recommend doing is spending
shield drop training.
Yeah, shield drop training, but more so specifically just like 20 minutes a day, like before you go to bed or something. Just boot up Uncle Punch, go through the shield drop training, go through the acting at a shield, do a bit of the tech chase, training, stuff like that. And like focus on like, those 20, 30 minutes and then be done and kind of take note of how it's going, right? If you really want, you could, take notes, but I find if I'm too formulaic or too, specific with how I'm practicing, it kind of takes the fun out of the game.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just like boot up like Uncle Punch and be like, man, I just want to be playing unranked right now. And
right.
Yeah. I'm not learning,
Yeah.
just like
you're just mindlessly playing, right?
So I feel like I improved like a lot, in the beginning. Of course, everyone does, like, because there's so much more to learn. But I feel like I've kind of gotten to that point where I'm not, learning nearly as much, and I'm not grinding these like things, and that's why I feel like I need coaching. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
I find I never really used 20XX or Uncle Punch. Like I've been playing the game since 2014, 2015. And back then you had 20XX, like the 3.02, and you could use it to train. I used it to like tech chase here and there and for specific things. But even when Uncle Punch came out or other things, I never really did solo practicing because I always felt like I could improve using it. But I also felt like it was taking the fun out of the game because I was like focusing too much on like grinding tech skill. Now that being said, I used to play Street Fighter 3 and I would practice like combos for days, like so much. But the thing is what I'm trying to get at here more so is that you got to find things that help you improve that you enjoy doing. And the whole point in Melee specifically, and just anything really where you're trying to improve in, if you don't enjoy it or if you're not having fun while doing it, stop doing that. And specifically with Melee, if you're not having fun playing the game, take a break. Because the less you're enjoying the game, the less you're more likely you're gonna autopilot, and the less likely you're actually gonna improve.
Right.
So always, whenever you're playing the game, always focus, like take a second here and there whenever you're playing and truly ask yourself, am I having fun right now? And if you're not having fun, don't stop playing. Like put it down, go away, play tomorrow or play, later in the day or whatever. That being said, if it's a tournament, it's a completely different story just because of the fact that you're in a tournament, you can't really just stop playing. That's when you really kind of, break, specific, like you try and work on your mentality, and kind of try and find how you can get to a state where you're enjoying the game, right? Sometimes just the idea of competition and like when you're actually in it and once you start playing, you kind of start to get a little bit better about
Yep.
it. But again, you can't just stop and be like, I don't want to play and then quit out. You can do that, but I feel like that is a
Yeah.
bad way to improve your tournament mentality, right?
Yeah. I find with like these online tournaments, it's easier to get angry than it is for in-person tournaments. Because I've gone to a few. Uh, I went to like a regional and our Arcadian,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely at those tournaments, I found it like a lot harder to get mad than it is online.
Online,
I
man.
don't know. I feel like it's so easy to get angry online just because like I don't know when you see the person like you don't want to make a fool of yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. It all comes down to when you don't see the person in person.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily like you lose that human connection, and you don't really
Yeah.
you don't give them the respect, or you don't give them the props for their ability, right? I don't know why.
Right.
Like I don't know the specific reason
Yeah.
why.
There's some psychology shit going on.
Yeah, it's something about the fact that it's
Mhm.
just it's 'cause you can't really see how they're reacting to what you're doing, and
Mhm.
so you kind of just like don't give them credit, right?
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, I totally feel that. When I was entering tournaments online, I was like, man, especially days where I wasn't playing well, it was really hard to
Yeah.
really want to continue playing.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
not too worried about that. I'd rather just focus on like the gameplay stuff rather than mentality stuff.
well, it goes hand in hand.
But yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it really goes hand in hand because the game it's a technical game. You need to be able to do things, but if your
Mhm.
mentality isn't there, you're not going to be able to perform the way you want to. Like it's just as
Right.
simple as that, and that's just human nature. So it's like it's not good to focus only on mentality because I've done that. I did that before, like 3-4 years ago, when I was like really just focused on mentality and everything. I realized that that's not the way to play learn the game or get better at the game. The best ways to learn and play the game is to have fun while you're playing the game, think about the game, and then
For sure.
make yourself a better human being. Exercise, eat
Right.
healthy, just sleep better, whatever. But like
Mhm.
the number one rule is have fun while you're playing. And if you're not having fun, don't play.
Yep.
But yeah, coming back to Uncle Punch, literally just boot it up for 20 minutes, 30 minutes every day, or almost every day, like whenever you feel like doing it, really. Because again, it all depends. However much work you put in is how much you'll get out, as long as it's a focused practice and proper practice. I don't like when
Mhm.
people say perfect practice makes perfect. It doesn't. Right? There's no perfect practice. You can't perfectly practice anything. That's not a thing. There's no metric of perfect, right? But
Right.
proper practice makes proper is the way I like to think of it, because
Mhm.
you can do focus practice, and you know what focus practice. Most people knows what focus practice feels like or is,
Right.
and that will that'll yield you results, right?
Mhm.
Um, but that being said, yeah, just a couple minutes every night or whatever. It doesn't even have to be for long. It could even be just 10 minutes of you just kind of going through things.
Mhm.
Besides that, before we get back in the set, the one other thing I want to do is, um, when you watch Melee, you should always be thinking about what happened and what could have happened instead, and what
Right.
like always be thinking about the game. You always have to try to have an analytical brain behind the game, because that way you start to think about the game more. Things come up more. You start to remember certain situations a lot better, and then
Yeah.
that translates into you actually playing. And you'll start to intuitively see situations without you having to actively think of doing things or thinking about said situation, right?
Right.
Which is really crucial.
I definitely look at top players and try to like notice things, but I feel like like a lot of times when you're watching a top player from my level, it's really hard to be like because they're already like 4 levels deep and I'm still on the first level, you know.
Mhm.
So sometimes I feel like it's a little hard to do that, but I'll definitely like pinpoint notice certain things like the way that they edge guarded or the way that like the options that they chose like to cover as many options as they could or that kind of thing is definitely good to look at. I feel like for my level, but every little interaction sometimes is goes a little bit deeper than sometimes I could even understand.
I understand. Okay. Um, it's at least trying. The thing is, yeah, at least try to try to think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And things will
yeah. I
slowly start to
definitely
click.
am. I definitely am when I'm watching. Whenever I'm watching like High Level Falcon, I'm always like trying to figure out what they did. You know, I really like watching Gatsu actually, because Gatsu, I don't know, like I feel like the options he choose like are similar to like the options that like I choose, except he's like a million times better at the game than I am.
He's
Whereas like
he's very clean and simple with his options. He doesn't go
yeah,
for unless he's like styling with his like normal things you
yeah,
choose. He's very like
yeah, like
yeah
uh with Gatsu, I feel like it's kind of like, oh, if they're above me, I up air. If they're behind me, I back air.
yeah
I don't know. He's
yeah
very very simple.
very simple. Yeah, exactly. Um, which is honestly the more simple you can think about the game, the better.
Mm,
The more you kind of try and delve into this and that and that and this, it gets too complicated to the
yeah,
point where you start not knowing what to do and when you play the game.
right.
Uh, I try to think about the game as simple as possible, and I sometimes catch myself kind of going too in depth with it.
Mm,
But I like to think that the game it's predominantly a tech skill game. You have to have your tech skill down.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
one thing leads to the next and the next and the next. Like if we were to go back at the beginning of this, and I was to see
When I got the nair,
the
I'm
narrate
doing.
here, I would have gone to grab. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you definitely see that I pressed Z there and just got a light shield.
Yeah, and that comes
Literally.
down to you pressing it too soon,
Yeah.
and it almost looked like you missed the L cancel, but I don't think so. Let me see. It
Um.
was weird.
Maybe.
Yeah, it almost looks like you missed the L cancel.
I might have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
you
I
did.
did.
I don't really see.
That's probably why I missed the grab.
Yeah, so stuff like that, it comes down to if you just have better tech skill than this person, the ideas start to come.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I hit my L cancels, then I get that grab. Right there.
Yeah.
If I hit that, if I hit that nair, I could have and I hit that nair, but then if I, hit the jump cancel grab, I would have gotten him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It all comes it
Jump
all
cancel grab is like, honestly, like one of like the weirdly hard things to do. Like I'll practice it and I'll get it like 80% of the time. Then when I'm playing, it's just like I only get it half the time. I don't know.
what what you should do is
It's
um going
like
on
I'm always trying to jump cancel grab, and I feel like I get like way more dash grabs. I'm not sure why.
it's because you're pressing grab before you jump.
I think
See,
I'm pressing it on the same frame,
or the
but I
same
don't know.
frame, exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah,
just slow it down a little bit and be more fluid. Remember, the
yeah,
fluidity is what you're looking
hmm
for, not the speed, because
yeah.
it's very easy. And how I like to explain it to some people. Have you ever played an instrument before?
Not really.
Not really.
Not enough. Definitely not.
Well,
I have I
this.
used to play in band, but it was only for like a year. But okay. Anyways,
Well, let's just talk about like everyone's held a guitar before,
yeah.
and I'm assuming you've probably played a chord before.
hmm
Most of the time when they teach a chord, they show you like where to place your fingers, but
Right,
they
right.
probably tell you to strum one at a time, right? Like the G string, E string, and so on and so forth, right? Through
hmm
the guitar, right? They don't tell you to just
Right.
strum immediately or whatever. Or sometimes they even tell you just place one finger on one note, play that note, and then place another finger on another note and play the note, and so on and so forth.
hmm
Same kind of goes for melee. And the thing is, what I want you to understand is that um, if you have fluid motion, you can start to build up the speed until you get it to the tempo that's
Yeah.
necessary.
I haven't thought about this, but yeah, definitely slowing it down sounds like something I could definitely help improve
Right, and
or
and
for my gameplay. Yeah.
and that's one thing that a lot of people don't. And myself included. Back in the day, I always try to do things, immediately, and then I'd get a dash grab, or I'd miss an L cancel because I'm trying to do everything too fast, and I'm not playing to the tempo of the game, right?
Right. Right.
And so that kind of translates into missed tech or whatever, right? So
hmm
it really comes down to just being fluid, being good with your motions, and then as time goes on, you can start doing it a little bit faster until you get to the point where you're, and then to the point where you're doing them quickly, but not too fast to the point where your inputs aren't going to come out because you're not in a game state where you can do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, that's the thing about Melee, is it's like hard to know when you can act out of things. Like, it's just, how do I know when I can act out of a Nair? And the thing is, what I would recommend, I don't know if you have it or not, is there's gecko codes you can use on Slippy. Like
I have them. I have the green one.
The green
one. I have all of them on.
Okay. Now. Like the green one and the miss L cancel. Those are the best things to have on. The green one, maybe not all the time, because I do think that sometimes it takes away from thinking about playing the game. You're more so worried about acting out of things instead of like actually playing the game. So don't always necessarily play with that on.
I actually I've been playing with it on, and I feel like I actually don't like pay attention to it as much as I should. So it's like kind of the opposite way for me. But
interesting. Okay, I found it was like I had it on, and it was very distracting. Like I was focusing.
That was
too
me
much.
at first. At first, I found it like super distracting. I turned it off immediately, and then now I'm just so used to it, and I don't like look at it anymore.
Yeah, I probably would have got to that point, but anyways, yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't think there's much else I can say besides the things I've said. And now let's go into, I guess, the actual match.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the again, acting in disadvantage, not acting fast enough. The double jump.
Yeah, that was a flub. I don't know what that up B was.
Oh, well, it's one of those things where it's you didn't think you necessarily were going to trade, or you're going to be off stage, or you're going to be on ledge.
I thought I was going to tech in place and slide off, and then I was just going to up B. So I think I think happened, but it just didn't.
And then how do I explain these? Trading or getting yourself into situations where you don't necessarily know what happened. It's sometimes best, if you're low percent, sometimes best to just wait a second and try and react to what happened.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to do, but at least you can start to kind of, you won't necessarily immediately press something and then fall to, something like an up B when you're, like here, right? You won't accidentally do something you shouldn't do. Like you shielded too, which is funny, right? Like that's not bad. That's not necessarily bad. And now, again, I'm saying this from a perspective of your skill level. Because if it was me, if I traded with this knee, I'd already be running to get a tech chase. You know what I mean? I would have traded and then I would have been already, like I would have known, right? But it's one of those things where if you don't know, it's much better to not do something than to do something until you get to the point where you know it's going to happen and then you can act on it. Good shield grab. Let's see. Do the knee. I like the nair is not bad, but it's also not great because he's doing a lazy nair. Your knee's not bad. You go for the edge cancel and you do some crazy stuff. I like it. But your knee's not really hitting anything. But again, it's one of those things where you might have been expecting him to go on the stage like this. But the thing is, though, you have to ask yourself, after this nair, unless you're already going to be hitting him when he's double jumping here, this knee that you're about to go for isn't going to hit him. If he goes on ledge, you're going to go past him. He could potentially bury you. If he goes on platform like he did, the knee's not going to hit anything. Unless you did the knee super early, in which case you would catch him when he's on the platform. If that's what you're trying to do, then at that point just go for an up air. Right? Because you're trying to read the fact that he's going to platform. It's not like you're reacting with a knee or anything, or at least he's like here. Hitting a knee here is a little bit harder, especially since, he could probably, he could do a lot off of this, right? He could be anywhere on this platform. Whereas an up air will cover all of this. Like if you were to up air here, you would have hit him.
Yeah, I think a lot of times I just throw out a knee hoping that they either double jump late and don't have invincibility anymore, or ledge dash right there or something. I don't know.
Okay,
I definitely wasn't trying to hit him on the platform.
okay. In that case, ooh, in that case, that's a one thing we need to discuss is hoping to get a hit.
Hmm.
If you are hoping that something is going to hit, um, you, you you're doing yourself a disservice. Um,
Right.
if you are thinking about, oh, I'm going to, do this overshot knee and I hope it hits, or I'm going to, go off stage and hope this hits, you're basically gambling at that point because you're not taking
Yeah.
into account where they are,
Hmm.
what they like to do, their percentage, their character, everything, in which case, this is a prime example. Falco has a pretty high double jump.
Hmm.
And not only that, but his ledge dash would take him to like right here.
Right.
So you didn't cover anything unless except for that bad option that you were hoping for, right?
Yep.
You shouldn't necessarily be hoping for the bad option. You should be just doing what covers more is what is a better thing to do. Which in this case, up air if you're going to do the option that the full drift that you're going to do. Now that being
Yep.
said, it would have been probably better just to hold center and then and maybe see what he does and then maybe execution test him if he comes off ledge or
Yeah.
up air him to cover him going on platform. So
I definitely have a really bad problem of not waiting and seeing what they do.
what they do exactly, right? Like you
Yeah.
have this stage, and the thing is you can't necessarily wait and react. You just have to kind of like check with the timing of ledge dash, right? Because they have a specific ledge dash timing, and then you would
Yeah.
execution test with a bear.
Like
Or
obviously instead I could, try to like nair in place or something or knee in place, hoping they ledge dash, which wouldn't necessarily put me in such a bad spot like this
I
edge cancels
I
me.
would do bear just because it's
Right,
easier
yeah.
to
I,
time.
yeah, you know what I mean though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So
Yeah, the time. Yeah, exactly. And then that way, if they go to ledge, you can like you would throw it an up air if they went on the platform, and then if they go to ledge, then you can easily like here. I'll go more in depth with it. Knee, and then after this nair right here, you run forward, and then you could
yeah,
up air such that like right here and like not drift too much so you could hit them, and then if they go on ledge, then you could probably execution test them, and there's a good chance they're not gonna immediately grab ledge and do a perfect ledge dash,
yeah,
right?
yeah. He didn't even grab ledge there. That's what I think I was hoping. I think I was just trying to cover his double jump.
Yeah, you were expecting him, you know
I
what I
thought,
mean?
I thought he was on the ledge.
More
Yeah.
times than not in this kind of situation at this level, people are just going to instantly double jump. Most people instant double jump out of everything, especially a
Yeah,
situation like a
exactly.
trade. People are instant double jumping, or if they're off stage, they're going to instant double jump. Like
Yeah, yeah. It's
it's
like one of
very
the
few,
most common habits I've
most
seen
common.
from like literally everybody.
Yeah, like if this was a better player, they probably would have. They probably
Like
would have
shine stalled or
shine stalled
something.
maybe, or even air
Yeah.
dodge if they felt like you were going to go
Like
in.
shine stall back air, like shine reverse. You
Yeah,
know what I
like a
mean?
lot of
Yeah.
things. Yeah, a lot of instead of
Yeah.
instead of going to platform here, instead he
Yeah.
went to platform waveland, which is actually another thing I was going to say someone might do, which is why
Mhm.
covering platform is another good thing, and then covering ledge, right?
You're right.
I want you to notice how like you're missing certain things like some L cancels, or like that I think you hit the L cancel there, but
Yeah.
it just feels slow. Like you're hitting the L cancel, but you're not acting fast enough. You know what I mean? Like you could,
Hmm.
and you're not aware of where he is and what he can do, right? Like the frame advantage. Like right here, you're above him, and he's directly below you. You just throw out a move, and so in his mind, he's like, I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna try and whiff punish him or whatever. I'm Falco. I could probably just do a full hop bear, and I could be safe, right?
Hmm.
You have to kind of take into account the positioning, right? And I think Laud had a specific document on this. He called it like some golden rule or some bullshit like that. And it essentially came down to yourself, your position, their position, percentage. What was another thing? There's like percentage, the space between each other, and then there was a couple other things, but the main things came down to your positioning, your characters, I guess, to a degree, because that plays a role, and your percentages and so on and so forth. But the thing is,
Mhm.
if you were to take this same situation and replace Falco with Peach, you're completely fine to do what you did here, and you could be slow. But the thing is, with Falco, he has a lot of verticality. So when you use platforms, you have to be aware of the fact that Falco is going to hit you, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't be like, I'm going to, hit here and then I'm just going to fall through platform and be fine, right? Because
Yeah.
Falco is he has the ability to hit you
I
there.
feel like I definitely have a problem of just trying to like throw at a move in the place that either where they're going or just like trying to hit them, not being fully recognizing their moves that they're throwing out. I'm
Mm.
rather just like they're here, I'm gonna try to hit them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah.
see me do that like
That's
this
why you're trying
whole
to
entire
drop. You're trying
thing.
to drop. I know exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to drop through platform up air him. That's
Yeah,
exactly what you're trying to
exactly.
do here.
And he's throwing a background and that doesn't work. And I have this like really bad problem with that. And
Well,
like,
it's partially because of the fact that you're having trouble controlling your character. So if you're already
mhm.
having trouble controlling your character, how the fuck are you gonna, excuse my language? How the fuck are you gonna be, um, looking at the opponent?
Yeah,
You're looking at your own character. You're not even paying attention to what they're doing. You're not even looking at their part of the
right.
screen. And that's
Yeah.
kind of the issue, right? Like, Melee is such a
Mhm.
technically demanding game that if you don't have at least some control of your character, you can't even start to like anticipate what your opponent's going to do, or even be aware of where they are on the screen. Other than the fact that they're right here, that's it. You don't take into account, what they did, what actions they have, whatever. You're just taking into account that they're here, and that I could potentially hit them. And then that comes back to the fact that you're hoping you can hit them.
Yeah,
And that,
exactly.
right? Like, you're on top platform and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, he's below me. I hope I can hit him with this fall through up air." And then that,
Mhm.
obviously backfires because Falco can easily just bury you.
Yep.
Nair, yeah, he's just yeah. Let me see. Obviously, other than probably having better DI there,
Yeah,
um,
I don't think there was a whole ton I probably could have done.
you probably could have like went up here and then stopped drifting and then fast fell down because he went for this.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
again, this is kind of
but
weird
then he
because
could have
you could have
thought
done.
I would have done that.
Yeah, it's one of those
Yeah.
things, especially early on. Again, rule of thumb always is it's much harder for
I
yourself,
think
but
I definitely used to go to ledge a whole lot more. Like I'd go in and then drift back to ledge like all the time,
mhm,
and then people would notice that. And now I'm starting to do the opposite. Not nearly going to ledge enough.
I feel
I'm
that.
going on stage, or a lot of times now I'm trying to get the edge cancel or just drop through the platform.
Mm,
And they'll. I feel like it actually like works a decent amount at my level. People will. I'll try to. It'll look like I'm about to land on the platform, and they'll like try to back her at the platform, but I'm on the ground already, and now I'm on stage.
now you're
You
on
know.
stage. Yeah, exactly. I totally understand, like, kind of stopping doing a certain option completely just because it didn't work, and then you did this other option, starts working a lot better.
Mhm.
There's two things I was gonna say. One was it's always best, and again, this is way harder for you at your level because you're having difficulty controlling your character, but it's way better to avoid a certain situation than to get yourself in the situation and then try to, find or do a, remedy it, right? And what I mean
Mhm.
by that, it's like it's much easier for you to DI this back here better than to have yourself have bad DI and then, be in a really shitty situation, right? Because if
Right.
you had better DI, you would have easily just been able to double jump to ledge and you would have been fine.
Mhm.
That being said, uh, it's early on in the set, right? And you don't necessarily know how this guy is going to favor edge guarding you. And what I mean by that is everyone edge guards a certain way, right? There's some people
Mhm.
who edge guard, algorithmically, like Mewtwo King. There's some people who edge guard, a little bit differently, like None, for instance. Like he has specific things he goes for, but sometimes he'll change it up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And at your level specifically, they're gonna have specific ideas about how they're gonna want to edge guard, and so it's best to mix it up early on. Like, you start off going high here, which is fine, And then here, you might have like you kind of weren't low enough percentage, but if you were low enough percentage, it might have been good to try to go low.
Yeah, I feel like for that second one, there wasn't like a whole ton I could have
Done.
done
No,
there
you're in a
because
really poor spot
because
here.
no matter what I do, it's super easy for him to cover. Like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If I go to ledge, you did a tilt. If I landed on the platform, he would have just done anything.
That's why
And
the
then
only
if I
thing that's
ran it through the platform, it would probably have F smashed.
yeah, that's why the only thing I feel like you could have actually done is just stop drift here and then just went down because
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know, it's he's facing you forward instead of backwards, which means that he's looking for like an F smash or his weird nair here,
Yeah.
right? So if you take into account where he's facing, if he's facing back, I'd probably would have done what you did where I went high. But it's very awkward. And so that's why it was almost easier to just, like I said, it's easier to DI the back air better here.
Yeah.
Or instead go low here instead, right? Instead of going high like you did, go low and then try and tech it or whatever, or execution test his edge guarding, right?
Yeah.
That's essentially what you're doing when you're trying to recover. Is you're trying to make it as hard as possible for them and mix it up so that they can't, edge guard you.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing applies to like when you're getting off ledge. You're trying to make it so that their ledge dash has to be really good, right?
Yeah.
And then you said fuck it. I mean, remember Randall's a thing.
Yeah.
Always look at the clock, man. It's comes out at what is it, 4 or 3, 4 or 5?
I don't know.
I think comes out at 5 on the
7 or 9.
5 comes out of 5, goes in at 9. Right side is odd, left side's even.
Yeah.
And then that way you have, you don't have to like guess it. But even then, there's no point not recovering there. You'll see a lot of people like, again, top players, they'll like get hit there and they won't try to recover, even though they should try. It's just because they're like, well, it's whatever, right? And but they're at that point where they understand the consequences, whereas like you yourself, there's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Right? Because you might get yourself into situations you haven't before. Whereas here, you're just giving up an entire opportunity to potentially learn more. It's not even a potentially recover, just learn more in general, right?
Yeah.
Every interaction that happens in the game is a potential to actually learn more about it. I like these up airs, kind of like Gotsu like, right? Not bad. He's not dealing with your invincibility good. Oh, I don't mind the jabs. Oh, this could have easily been a grab. But honestly, here he could have shined too. But right here, you definitely could have grabbed him. And instead you go for a jab, which ends up working out. He's fully aware of the fact that you could easily just jump out there and knee.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things where I don't like doing this option until I've conditioned them to do differently.
If he double jump, but
yeah. You have to condition them, or at least like start to understand, when they like to do certain things, and then
definitely start doing bad options that good play. Like, I mean, it's a good option against a bad player, but obviously a good player is going to recognize that and not get hit by it.
How I look at it is that you have no intel to go for such a hard read like this.
Yeah.
You always be more safe at the beginning of a set, unless you really know, like you've played versus this person quite often, they're going to go, like this is going to happen. And even then, you should never really be going for such hard reads such early on in the set, because you have no idea what they're going to do. You have no idea, any idea. And not only that, but like, yes, this is like a consistent, bad option that not bad option, but a consistent option a lot of Falcos will do. It's off stage, so that you got to weigh the risks and versus the rewards, right? Like if it's
I'm at 8% as well. It's like it's not even like I'm at 150, where it's like if I die, it's like I'm already so high in percent. But if I die now, it's like I lost my entire stock.
Yeah. When you could have easily just execution tested him off ledge and then maybe taking a couple percent more, but instead now you're risking your whole stock. Not only just, even if you weren't to risk your stock, you're now in a positional disadvantage. Right, whereas you had a positional disadvantage, you had safety, you had lower percentage, you had a lot, right, and you just threw that all away. Potentially threw it all away. I can't say you did, right, because he didn't shine you, he back aired you.
Yeah.
Again, it almost looks like whenever you're on this platform and he's close to you, you just feel like you just instantly up air when you feel like you can.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like you are, again, taking account to where he is.
Yeah, I agree.
Ooh, missed knee. Just again, just knee takes a while. So even not fast falling the knee is good. Just throw it out and then drift, right? Use your drift. All like fast falling. The only things that really fast fall are stomp, like execution testing bear, or like a really low up air. Otherwise, like a knee, you can like deal with not fast falling it until you connect, right?
Mm-hmm.
You knee once you connect, then you fast fall. Nair, once you connect, you fast fall. You know what I mean? Kind of that idea.
Yeah.
And you can go a long way with it, with just doing that. Again, you shield drop without kind of waiting. And this could have easily just been you hold shield here, he hits you with the dare, and then you shield drop up air, right? Which is something you could easily practice in a punch, right? Instead, you did it way too soon because you're doing it as soon as you feel like you want to. The nair is not actually too bad here, but could have gone caught if he turned around up tilted. Like right here, it's kind of you're in a bad spot, but you worked out good.
Worked out.
Yeah. You do a knee
that's how I feel like a lot of my interactions are. It's like it's probably not good, but it worked out.
It worked out, right? Which is a really that's the bad thing about Melee. It's not like traditional fighters where you kind of get certain things beaten out of you, like bad options are typically beaten out of you. Melee, you can go your whole career. Like I know people who've been playing this game for 5-6 years, and they still do the wrong things, and they think it's right because they got rewarded for it one too many times, right?
Right.
And so that's kind of the poor part about Melee is that you'll be rewarded for things when you really shouldn't, and then you continue going for them, which is kind of like this knee right here. This knee might have worked for you one time, but you're not covering anything here. This knee right here, he's not what Falco was going to ledge dash right here. And not only that, but like you didn't even put it out far enough that you would catch something here. You immediately fast fell it, right? Like the knee is barely out here. And you wouldn't even you had like a single frame, if that. I don't even know if the knee was out yet. You had a single frame for knee to even be out, right? So unless he literally did like the SFAT where he, they fast fall and then wave land down, right, or wave dash down, you're not gonna hit anything.
Yep.
But you gentlemen, good. Like that was good. Oh. Let me see. Gentlemen. Maybe... Yeah, that's kind of hard. If you're late, just dash dance, which you try to do, but you're a little too... You spaced it so that you couldn't dash dance, right? Because he DI'd really far away and mistech. I would have jumped, immediately dashed, which you did. Actually, I probably would have gotten hit by this. That's a hard one. But a rule of thumb is if you're late, try and space it so that you can dash away, and then you at least have positional advantage, or at least maybe try and CC. You might have even been able to jump, and instead of dashing, CC.
I don't know if it happens anywhere, but a lot of times, like I'll get hit by something like this. They'll tech in place and then spot dodge shine, and then I'll be too late.
In that case, you can just beat their get up option. Right? If you have a feeling like the thing is if they spot dodge or shine, knee beats it the same. Right? The same knee timing will beat spot dodge and shine for the most part. Or grab will at least, right? Like a dash dance grab.
Right.
What I probably would have done here if I was playing good is I probably would have CC'd or shielded here because it's hard to see. That's another thing I hate about Melee. Oh, it's the only thing I really hate about Melee. There's a lot, but this is one thing. The first thing I'll say is that it's hard to tech chase sometimes because they're in this stupid bubble. They're so small, right? So it's like I can't even tell if he teched or not, and I don't know until I'm there, right?
Right.
So you kind of use the sound of them teching to help you react, right? Because there's a sound that they make when they tech. Here, it would have made no tech sound. So you know they mistech'd. So then you know that if you're late here, or if you're like this situation, you have to hold down or shield. You won't have time to dash, right?
Right.
So use sound. Using sound is really, really good for Melee, especially since reacting with sound is faster than visual, considerably.
Yep.
Like, you know, or
Mhm.
it's relatively faster, but it's like on
Right.
average, most people's reaction times are like 200 milliseconds. Better reaction times are maybe 180, 170. And then
Yeah.
audio is like on average 150, right? Like
Okay. I
the
didn't even know
median.
that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, one second.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Audio reaction time on average. Uh, auditory reaction time. It's anywhere from it's anywhere from
Yeah.
110 to 150 milliseconds,
Oh wow.
and
Crazy.
the median on human benchmark for visual is around
My
200.
human benchmark is around like 180 if I'm, like hyper focused.
I think
So
mine. I did it the other day, and mine was about I think 180. I was doing it with
yeah,
somebody, and I was just doing
yeah,
it haphazardly, like. And also, it also depends on your monitor too,
yeah.
because
And I did it on my phone one time. My phone has such crazy input lag. It was like 300 to 500. Like
yeah, yeah,
it was crazy.
like the I'm doing on my like 60 hertz monitor right now, my side monitor, and I'm getting around 200, and I do it on my
Yeah,
144 hertz monitor,
140. Yeah,
and I
yeah,
get much
yeah.
faster.
Exactly. Yeah. That's probably why it's like even like 200, like average, whatever it is. 'Cause people's monitors suck.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but that yeah, use the sounds to help you react. That can really help you and stuff like this, right? Like where the
Yeah,
bubble, you know.
for sure.
I like that. I like that double jump because he didn't go far enough, so he went right over. That's
A lot of times when I get hit by a laser, I'll find just jumping is the best thing to do against bad Falcos,
the
but probably the worst thing to do against good Falcos.
well. The thing is, he went for a grab, which he shouldn't have. If he went for a nair, he would have beat you.
Hmm.
Which is the thing. Like you do this kind of double jump over if you do it sooner. But the thing is, he's too close here for you to do that. You have to shield, which is why he thought you were gonna shield, right?
Hmm.
And but then most Falcos they'll probably nair here or dare here, and trying to
Right.
catch
That
an
would hit
option,
me.
right?
Yeah.
He just happened to go for shield, which is like kind of crazy, or for grab, which is kind of crazy. But if you're ever in a situation where you can jump around in the corner, it's really, really good to do this kind of bear. This is I call this like the S2J bear because he does this all the time. Like and
Hmm.
it's really, really deceiving too. Like, cause Falcon, like you'd think it's like, oh, he's just throwing out a bear like this, but it hits a lot and it catches a lot of people too.
Hmm.
Weirdly enough, like it just has a really good priority here. Like priority, I call it priority when there's no actual priority in Melee, right? It's not like a fighting game, but it has decent range and it trades well or even beats a lot of options in this kind of situation.
Yeah.
And it's deceiving too. I don't know why it is, but it just is deceiving. Like the verticality kind of makes it ambiguous,
Yeah.
which is like that's a good option to do, right? That being said, if he nared or dared, he would have been screwed, but it's fine. Um, the roll and shine can be annoying. Um, what None will do a lot of times if he does this bear, he'll just stomp in place.
Okay.
Especially since some Falcos will bear, but if you stomp in place, you don't get hit by the bear, and you might catch the roll. This is kind
Yeah.
of weird. I probably would have gotten hit by the shine here, but it really depends. I probably would have ran in actually, so I probably wouldn't have. But if I had stayed where you were, I definitely would have gotten hit by it.
Yeah.
That's just annoying Falco roll, especially on online Falco roll shine.
Yeah.
Um, like yeah, I probably would have ran in after with a nair or something, or like dash danced. I probably would have dash danced and then avoided the shine. But point is, you got shined. Oh, you can just go to ledge. Instead, you go for the craziest stomp trade. Now you have no jump and you're probably dead. He dares you. You get up attack.
Yeah.
Also, there's no reason not to be pressing R here to option select attack. Because if he hits you with the
Hmm.
nair, you can SDI, or DI the nair, and you're still DIing the dare or a bear or whatever. If he hits you with a dare, you're already pressing R, so you can tech it. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason not to be
Yeah.
pressing R and to option select attack.
Hmm.
Through you. Now, here's where I would have probably gone high. Like I would have like don't like not jump forward, and that's another thing. Remember, sometimes you don't always have to jump forward, right? You're full drift forward, jump forward. Sometimes you can just jump in place and up B.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right here, I would have maybe jumped forward, stopped drifting here, then up B, and then
Okay.
that way I might have been able to get around, or at least like maybe
So that
somehow
way it's harder
drift.
for him to hit
Harder for him
me.
to hit it, right? Whereas in this case, you go right up to him. Oh, it's easy there,
Yeah.
easy back air.
Right.
Again, you're trying to execution test the guy with lasers with knee when you can. If you really want to hit them, you can even just full hop above them and stomp them when they do double laser. You can power shield the first laser if it's low enough, and you can like hit them with that laser, or like you can even
Yeah.
hold shield and grab. You can sometimes you can even like up air it. A lot of times what people do, they'll go on the side platform, like not on Yoshi's probably, but on like Battlefield or Dreamland, they'll go to the side platform, wait for the double lasers, shield, and then wait till they throw out the first laser, and then shield drop into a bear to hit the second laser. If I really want to, the easiest way is just to full hop over and stomp them.
Yeah.
Like I really
I
just
see.
want to
I
hit
see
them.
Wisdom do that like all the time. He'll full hop like stomp.
It's really
double
good
laser.
because it's really like really
double
like
jump.
pretty low risk for the most part. And most Falcos aren't expecting it.
Mhm.
You doing this knee, like you're probably trying to knee here, that takes too long, man. Knee is a move you have to throw out when you're super close. Like you have to be throwing it out, like it has to be a read. It's not a reaction. It's too slow.
Yeah.
And
Right.
even then, again, them getting off ledge is always, you kind of reading their timing.
Hmm.
Again, you're just trying to hit him because you can hit him. Again, you're running off and trying to hit him, which it works because you're low enough percent. You're not covering anything. You're not even grabbing ledge. It's almost worked out, actually, which is crazy. Because he's at a height where like your knee wouldn't even really hit.
I thought he would either go forward or go to ledge, but he went high, and then I tried to up air him. So if I went forward, I think it might have hit him.
It actually might have hit him.
Yeah.
But it was like definitely you're doing an option that you don't have any
I
information
mean, obviously,
about.
like none right there would just run out knee or up air.
Yeah, you get run out there, knee up air. What I would have done probably is go to ledge just to kind of see how they like to recover, and then I'm kind of safer. He knows Randall's there, so he goes to Randall. Like he's already big brain enough. This guy's
exactly.
way better than a new player, or he's just a super grinder.
No, he's pretty new. He's really good.
Good shield grab, good back air. Nice. Okay, that was good. You're waiting, kind of. Yeah, you waited out of the laser. You're playing kind of stationary. That's fine because he's close. Yeah, that was fine. There's nothing really wrong with that. You're playing around invincibility good. I like that. You're full hopping. You're trying to, get away, right? Like you're full hopping over. Might have attacked too soon, but you're fine. That was... see what I mean?
I fast fell and
Fast fell, man.
Yeah. And I'll definitely work on. I think right now the two things, like the main things we've gone over are fast falling my nair and like aerials, and just practicing like general like execution stuff and not going too fast.
Not going too fast. Yeah, just being fluid, right?
Right.
Honestly, just don't like go on unranked and just don't fast fall in there. Don't fast fall knee. Like just only do that. And you can because it's unranked. Like no one's gonna be like, this. That's the beauty of unranked. That's why I loved it because, and I literally what was this around when it came out, Slippy in what was it June of 2020, late June of 2020.
I started playing in July. It was like a month after.
Okay, word. So
came out.
I only played unranked from June until about October, and I would enter tournaments here and there. And I actually would place decently well. And the thing is, a lot of people ask me is, how do you improve on unranked? And the thing is, the beauty about unranked is that you not only get exposure to a lot of different playstyles, even though a lot of people are pretty poor at the game, you get exposure to a lot of different playstyles, but you also can do whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can practice whatever you want. You could practice power shielding. You can practice shield dropping. You can practice, weird aerial timings, weird aerial drifts. You can practice going out there to edge guard. You can practice going low. You can practice, edge cancels. You can do whatever you want. And and
Mm-hmm.
people will just leave or not. Who cares? And you go on to the next
Yeah,
person, right?
exactly. I love unranked. It's like where like 95% of my melee time is gone.
It's
So
good. It's really good.
yeah,
The only thing else that some people might need to do is having more. The issue with unranked is having the intentionality,
yeah,
right? That's the big issue for a lot of people. They'll just go on unranked, turn their brain off, play, and they're enjoying it, but they're not really thinking about the game, which is the biggest issue. Whereas if you're actively using your brain and you're really thinking, you're really trying to incorporate new things, one at a time. That being said, you never want to incorporate a lot of things at one time because nothing's going to stick, or it'll take much longer for even one thing to stick. The one thing I recommend for a lot of people when they're trying to learn new things, like they try to learn crouch canceling, or they're trying to learn, like in your case, doing no fast fall aerials, like properly, is just spam it. Spam only doing that when you're doing that option, right? Like for instance, with crouch canceling, a lot of people are like, I don't know when to incorporate it. I tell them whenever you're going to shield, crouch cancel instead. And it seems egregious, but the thing is about it is that you start to build up using, like the habit of using it, but also the understanding behind when to use it.
right.
And as time goes on, and during those few sessions you do, those unranked, here and there, maybe weekly, you start to gain the knowledge and it starts becoming into, part of your gameplay. But
Yeah.
if you're just going into being like, I'm going to incorporate crouch canceling, and I'm going to incorporate, no fast fall nairs, and I'm going to incorporate shield dropping, and I'm going to incorporate, and you start listing all these things off you're going to incorporate, you're not going to incorporate shit. You're just going to keep playing the same way you did yesterday, and so on and so forth.
For sure.
So
One at a time. Yeah.
But anyways, if only you didn't fast fall that nair, would have been great. Good edge cancel, good dash grab. You could have grabbed him maybe. That's another thing. You can forward throw here. You might be able to catch them if they shield.
I think that's supposed to be an up throw, probably.
Okay.
I rarely do forward throw. I've been trying to actually use forward throw more at the ledge.
Here it should have been an up throw or a down throw for sure. But if you happen to do forward throw and they're more defensive like this Falco, you could just run up and grab him again.
Yeah. A lot of people just shield out of.
Most people will. There's three things people do. They'll shield, they'll spot dodge, or they'll run in and air you, or run in and aerial you. Those are like the three things they'll do. If they're very defensive, they'll do shield. If they're smarter defensive, they'll do spot dodge. If they're more aggressive, they'll run in and air you, or run in and aerial you. In this case, this guy's defensive, but not super smart defensively, so you could easily just do that. That being said, we all know you should have done an up throw or a down throw.
Yeah.
If you're ever like, I've personally do all my throws with C-stick, especially because
I've been doing C-stick a lot.
It's good. It's especially because you can buffer down throw, and also it allows you to separate the movement from the throw, because I find it's really hard to do an up throw and then move out of the up throw using all of the gray stick, right? And that's also a lot of extra stuff on my left hand that I don't need to do when my right hand's not doing anything, right?
Right.
Dividing up the inputs. That being said, you could have grabbed here. That's fine. Again, poor double jump aerial when you could easily just do a neutral jump instead of a full drift forward jump, and then you could probably go to ledge. A neutral jump is really, really good because neutral jump allows you, if you need to, you can drift after. And a lot of times it's really good, especially versus Sheiks and Marts, because you can kind of evade moves and then drift in after they throw out a move. This case, you went full forward and went for a nair, in which case, like, you're pretty much screwed because he's waiting. He already knows you like to do that. And yeah, you're dead here.
Yeah. This last I got down at like 0 or something, I forget. Ends really soon.
You're dash dancing, that's good. You jab out of it, that's good. The nair's good. The knee's good. Please grab ledge, hold ledge. Randall screwed you. That's fine. That was awkward.
Yeah.
There's stuff you could have done, but let's focus on everything else. Good grab. Packer, you're crazy. You're just staying there, and then you do the one thing you shouldn't do, which is the execution test with knee. You're doing pretty good overall here. Like, for what it is, like you're doing really good, and then you decide to execution test with knee.
Yeah.
You roll out. That knee was good. You caught him not, expecting. That was actually pretty good. Good crouch cancel, but you're definitely not doing that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you try to evade it again the same way, except this time you fast fell with him. You crouch cancel. You weren't expecting that. You shield because you probably thought you had to tech. Then you get back here. You're panicking now because then you miss your tech. And now you're rolling. He gets the shine. You're still panicking. Oh, and you double jump back air out. He catches that. It's a lot of panicking. It's a lot of panic. Instead of just instead of just taking a second to kind of catch your breath, you're just throwing things out, and you're not getting the chance to breathe. You didn't even.
I don't even know it.
You didn't think you were gonna grab ledge here, which is why you got bead.
No, I think I was trying to up air something. I just hit the B button.
Okay.
My finger was going to the C stick. I think.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
actually slipped and hit the B button. Something I have no idea. That doesn't happen to me often.
Even then, that up air would have been bad because he's at low enough percent that even if you up aired him while he's in the air, he's gonna be able to act sooner anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So game one. So we have a bunch we've already outlined, which is good. And again, besides the technical flubs, there's the ideas behind the game that I like I said, I want to focus more on. And I think we got a decent amount so far. So let's continue on to game two. Your up airs. The thing is about your up airs is they're not bad, but they're not good. So they're not bad because you're hitting them, but they're not good because you're not setting yourself up to avoid certain things like an up tilt or a shine after, right?
Yeah, exactly. I hit him, but like they're you're
not like drifting away. Like you could have easily have double jump up aired there instead of doing a no double jump up air, right? Like right here. Could have up aired and actually you really couldn't. You wouldn't have hit him then. But even then, that up air is not necessarily good because then he can kind of act faster and then get up tilt shine, right?
Exactly.
If you're gonna do moves at low percent, like when they're low percent,
like hit him with that up there and try to like maybe drift back into the platform.
Drift back to the platform, or try and space it, or drift past them, right? Or drift around them, like basically space it. You're right. Like you want to make it so that you're safe on hit, so that even if they crouch cancel it, shield it, whatever, they can't punish you for it, right? Because here you can easily up tilt shine you. But again, your DI is good. Your DIs off shine are good, which is nice. You're for the most part, like you're not giving it too much for free, which is good. Again, double jump out of back air. You mess up your shield drop again, which again you shouldn't be shield dropping here because you're just coming down and he's just waiting for you.
So what should I do while I'm on like that top platform and he's down at the bottom of the stage?
Just go to the side platform. He's going to the left. You go to the right, and then use the platform to then because he's going to be over here. Use the platform to approach. Do what I call the Zeodyne, where you do like a full drift, non-fast fall nair, and you can catch them over here.
Oh yeah,
it's really good. I can show you. I'll show you it now. Zeodyne. Oh, why? Jesus Christ! Holy shit! Why is it not coming up? Maybe Zeo instead. There we go. I was gonna say, what the fuck? And you'll probably notice, like within once they move beside each other, or once they're like true neutral and one person's underneath the platform, like Squid. Give it a second. To find the situation where it happened. They're playing too close to each other right now.
Mm-hmm.
He almost went for it. He went to the platform and then he said, "Nah, I'm not gonna." No, he didn't do it there either. Go to the next stock. Holy shit, this is a long stock. God damn, that's a 2-minute stock. Holy crap.
Never seen a Falco stock that long.
Yeah, Jesus. Right there. See that nair?
Yeah.
Right. And he did it to fastball because he was center stage, but you can also do it such that you hit over here.
Right.
So that's another thing you can do to approach. If you're really like, man, I can't get in, you can just do that. And it's kind of awkward too for the Falco to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Like he tried to read it with him coming in because he knew he's going to come in. He tried to throw it an up tilt, but he was too late. But that's the kind of thing. It's like, man, I can't approach or whatever. Like you can just do that. That's an option. And here, like, you're just not getting off platform. So he's like, all right, I'm just going to come to you. He does a fair. You try to act out of the fair. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to dare. Like, you're always acting in disadvantage. You know what I mean? Like, instead of kind of resetting or at least, moving around and trying to get around it, you're just like, I'm going to hit him head on. He's above me. I'm going to up air him.
Yeah.
Like, these up airs after aren't bad. Like, this is good. You're hitting him. This is, like, really good. You trade. That's good. I like that. Good dash dance grab. Good dash dance grab again. Go for a back air, which was probably, I don't know what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I think probably.
Good full hop out, actually. This back air isn't necessarily good, but it worked.
I don't think it was intentionally a back air. I think it was probably an up air.
Oh, I'm not talking about this one. That one.
I think that was probably supposed to be an up air. I don't think I intentionally back aired there.
Okay, weird. Even then, his dash attack probably would have beaten you regardless.
Yeah.
I think. Let me see. It would have been traded probably. Maybe. Depends on how you did the up air. But his dash attack definitely beats it. Your jump out back air isn't actually too bad here. But he definitely could have just like went to this like underneath side platform and instead of having to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
Like he could have easily like gone away and then shot a laser underneath side platform. And he, for whatever reason, shined. I don't know why. Like he definitely should have shielded this, but that's fine. That worked out. You got a back air. Let's see what you do off ledge. So that I now see why you do those knees.
Yeah.
I see why, because you're catching a ledge dash and you're like, well, I'm going to hit it. That's good. That's actually fine. But the thing is that when you're close to here, that's a different story, right? Especially if they're going to do lasers. Which is why it's almost always better if you're close to do, a back air or do that stomp or do a shield and, beat the lasers. But if you're far away, I can see why you would do that knee. It's not necessarily bad, but it's also not necessarily good. Like you should have been over there. You know what I mean? You should have been here execution testing instead. Actually, that's not bad. This is kind of like I would call this like a mango option where he's dash in, dash out knee, which is actually not bad. This is actually not bad to do. Because you're using your drift, you're using your dash dance, like you're being kind of ambiguous, and you're still execution testing. Like that is a good option, but it's not good to always do. Is what I'm trying to get.
Right. I got you.
It's almost always better to be closer to ledge to execution test. From there, you try to deal with invincibility. You get caught in your movement. He catches you with a nair. You're going for your up airs, which actually aren't too bad, but you didn't space the second
one. I hit that up air,
Yeah, like that's not too bad. Like you're catching it.
I hit it, but it doesn't help because he gets a shine.
He gets a shine, right? Like if you hit this, like there you could have crouch canceled it. That's the issue. You probably should have just went for the single one and then went away, right? Because he's not he's not high enough percent where
that happens to me a lot where I'll get like a weak back air at like 0 or a weak up air. And
then you get crouch canceled or whatever.
Yeah.
Or shined. He didn't even crouch cancel. It was just so low percent.
Yeah. Just doesn't knock down.
But yeah, like you should have gone one, went to top platform, or jump back so he couldn't instant jump bear you on top platform, right?
Or even like a single hit nair grab would have been like a lot trickier.
Because he's not crouch canceling, right? Like you definitely could have single hit naired here and to grab. Like that's definitely right. I agree. You mess up, you impact land on top platform, you do a bad knee, but your air dodge was good. Your nair wasn't too bad, but honestly, there's no reason for him to necessarily shield there other than the fact that he forward smashed. You shield for some reason, even though you're spaced perfectly and there's literally nothing he can hit you with.
Yeah.
Unless he does like a crazy Farad shield, which he's not gonna do. In which case you go for a knee that covers literally nothing. Instead, you should have just maybe called out his full hop better with like an up air. And like a short hop up air instead, like nair, and then instead of shielding, you could have like went forward and called out his full hop. You try to grab him, but that's not gonna work. Again, your nair, you're doing like your nair where you're doing like kind of like a no fast fall nair, but the thing is you're not going anywhere, and then you're also fast falling it. This one's not bad because you're spacing it well, but the second one up here when he does it like it's neutral, you're not really drifting anywhere, and then from here, like, let me see. Actually, that wasn't that too bad. It's just the fact that he lasered you.
Yeah.
Might have been better just to dash dance a little bit and wait a second. Wait for understand the laser timings a little bit better. Right here, like you probably, especially since the thing is, if you hadn't grabbed there, your nair would have been better. But the fact that you grabbed there means that you guys are on the same kind of like he has better frame advantage than you. And not necessarily frame advantage by pressuring, but more so the fact that he's able to throw it a move sooner than you are, which is why this laser works, right? If you hadn't grabbed there, then you could have easily done that nair and you probably would have caught him. At least you would have caught him in shield. But instead, he's able to throw out the laser before you, and then he's able to hit you with the nair. Good grab, meant to be probably a forward or a down throw and up throw. So you grab him, and then at that point, you throw it a bear, which I don't know what that's covering. He ends up doing a roll, which is also another thing someone can do if you do a forward throw. But again, you really shouldn't be forward throwing.
Yeah.
He's already in your face throwing out a laser. You can't be jumping there. Let me see. Yeah, again, same thing happened again where because you jump forward with a bear, you can't really act soon enough. You might have been able to do like an instant up air sooner, and you might have been able to catch him, but like that's an if. You know what I mean? That's not something you want to hope for, anyways. You know what I mean? At this point, yeah, you can't attack, which you try to do. It almost looks like you try to full hop over, which sucks because now you have no jump. Yep. You realize it, thankfully, and you up B, and you go low, which is good. The first time actually going low, which is good. He's pressuring you.
I remember this specifically. That was the side B was supposed to be the other way. Like 100 million%. I tried to side B the other way, and I have no idea why it went that way.
Maybe snapback?
I don't think so. I have no idea how it happened.
That was pretty crazy. You double jab and then just side beat off
I think
stage.
I'm really nervous here. This was a grand final set, so I don't know.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to get used to the tournament nerves, but that just comes with time.
Yeah.
So that happens. He's like, okay, true.
Yeah.
And you're throwing out backers, which are hitting nothing. Try and stomp instead. Or like one thing is, a lot of people like to run through you. Just stomp in place. Sit in center stage and just stomp in place
nearly enough, but it's something I've been trying to do more.
It's good when you're invincibility and they like to run through you. Like the first few times you're invincibility, you kind of notice how they like to do. If they like to run through you, start stomping in place. If they like to go to, platform, just kind of like maybe try and hit them like once they're out of, like just try and like they might light shield. You could probably potentially go to platform and grab them. If they go to ledge, you could just wait until they come on stage and execution test them, right?
Right.
But in this case, he likes to run through you, so just stomp in place. Stomp, like you're in just center stage, he's running through you, and then just stomp in place.
Yeah.
And then stomp in place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead, you go for a double bear, then you do a nair, which it's almost like you're not even looking where he is. You're like, I'm going to throw a nair here. He's not even close. And then he hits you with a dare.
Yep.
Good knee. The double jab, not bad, but you're not close enough. That's the thing. You space the knee so well that the double jab's not going to hit anything. If you feel like your spacing like this isn't good enough, just do it so that you stomp instead. What I like to do a lot of times is Falcos, when they're like sharking me, not sharking, but when they're like up tilting me in the situation, I won't fast fall and I'll just stomp them. And at worst, I'll trade. At best, I'll outright beat them because of the timing, and then I get a free punish.
Right.
So try that. Try like a double jump in like you did here, but with a stomp instead, and don't fast fall it.
Okay.
Same thing could have been done. That's not bad to do what you're doing here. It's just you didn't double jump to the right far enough, right?
Yeah.
Nice back air. Nice knee. And then see that's when that works, right? That knee that you're going for is when it works. When he does really, really bad double lasers. And then right there, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to do the short hop knee and then jump down, and then you don't even have to up air after. You expect him to do a crazy angle, which that's honestly, I don't blame you. What I would do here is I'd probably, if I didn't have time to do the short hop knee and then fast fall down to hit him, right? When he's starting.
He's right there, yeah.
Yeah, right here. If I didn't have time, I would grab ledge and then I would probably bear. Or if you really want to, you could do a crazy like drop off ledge back air. Like if I was really fast to it,
yeah,
right, you could easily grab ledge, fall off back air, like what None does, right? You could grab ledge here and then fall off back air. There's a lot of things you could do, and you choose the one thing that only really covers like a crazy angle, which is like again, you got to cover more things, or at least hard call out the one thing you know will work.
Mm-hmm.
And then then you flub your tech skill and you run off. You're like, oh no, and then bang, and you're dead. Oh no.
Yeah.
That always hurts. Again, you're coming down with like a backer or a knee instead. Just go for a stomp, and don't fast fall it. Right, just stomp so that you hit them with your tippy toes, and then at worst you trade. At best you outright beat them.
Yeah.
Because look, no fast fall. You start your stomp right here, and then you would have hit him. You would have traded. Let's see. Got to get more comfortable with shield dropping. You could have easily shield dropped. Again, you spot dodge, which easily could have been a shield drop up air. You ran out platform, which is fine. You probably should have just up aired here instead of full hop back aired, because now he's got center stage. Instead of you kind of maybe potentially poking him or causing him to go into tumble or, whatever, right? Like you could have easily have up aired him here, probably have clipped him, and then he's to the left of you. And then maybe even get a tech chase, or maybe he slides off, or at least you have positional advantage. Now you don't have positional advantage, and you're on the top platform. He lasers you, full hops. That's a good knee. I like that knee because he's expecting you to come down, and see how you don't fast fall it?
Yeah.
See? The no fast fall is really good. Back air should be up air, and then you also do another full hop back air, which should be up air. Don't be afraid to just short hop up air. Just shark him. You do the back air and it works though. Go for a crazy knee instead of just whiff punishing easily with like a fall down like up air. It's kind of hard here. What you really should do here is you could space it so that you hit them with the up air here, like a low up air, or what I would do is which you probably wouldn't be able to do, but you fast fall through here and you hit them with an up air before you land. It's like how foxes do full hop, fall through platform bear. You can do the same thing with up air on Battlefield.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do. I don't expect you to do that. But you definitely could have potentially.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You definitely could have spaced it even like not through the platform, but right here, and you might have been able to hit it up air.
Mm-hmm.
You get hit with the dare, and instead of realizing that you're not going to be able to, you could grab him here, or realizing that you're not going to be able to get like an aerial, you can't jump here. You're trying to up air him. You're running off platform like a madman. Holy crap! You ran all the way from the right side of the platform all the way to the left, off with him when he's shying because you're close to him. You have full hop nair because you're freaking out. You're like, oh my god. He gets a shine, nair, dare. He's tech chasing. He's waiting. Yeah, he calls your double jump out. See, he knows you're double jumping now, right? Like, he knew almost immediately, like, that, to expect the double jump aerials, but, like, he's super ready for it.
Right.
You're shielding. Your waiting isn't actually too bad because he potentially could have shined you there and, like, or grabbed, but, like, you just waited and rolled, which is fine. Your knee's not bad. Your double jab's not too bad. You try to grab him, which you can't. The thing is, look at this. Right here, because you double jabbed, you're like an equal frame advantage or equal frame, like, so do you know what I mean by frame advantage or disadvantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, you guys are neutral. Meaning, and Falco has way better options up, like at this range, fast.
Yeah, and plus I was facing the wrong way.
Wrong direction, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, you either have to shield or dash away.
Mm-hmm.
Or not double jab, in which case you could get a better punish, right? Like, if it was me, I would have dashed away, and then I would have, dealt with his options. He fairs you, which is really good, actually, and then gets a laser jab reset, and ooh. And then a down smash. That sucks, but I think that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
You could have fast fell the ledge. What you do here, and again, I don't expect you to do this either. Right here, when you slide off like this and you hit it, you can fast fall after.
Fast fall. Yeah.
Yeah, and grab ledge.
I've been practicing that too for like hack stashes, like good ones.
It's needed for hack stashes.
Basically.
It's literally needed for Falcon, like really badly.
Yeah.
Because then you're in a position where you have to double jump there or go low, in which case he has more than enough time to laser or react to you going low and then deal with it, right? You're trying to shark him. Instead of sharking him with up air, you're sharking him with back air.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing that.
You do a good dash dance grab, but again, you're like you're not jump JC grabbing. But that's not a bad grab because he's not the spot dodge type of player there. If you're to do a grab like this, you have to catch him like right here is where you would have to grab him. Like you're here, you would have to grab him here, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise he could spot dodge it. But it works out. You up throw, you go for the knee, just go for an up air. Keep it simple, man. Like you can hit the knee here on tech in place, but it's hard on Battlefield. It's a frame perfect input. It's like you have to do the knee as soon as possible. You have to space it well. It's not easy to do. Just do an up air. Or go for a full hop stomp read or whatever. But up air is the easiest thing. Keep it simple. Always keep it simple. And like understand that you're up throwing here, he's gonna go to platform at this percentage.
Yeah.
Up air, and then you go for a knee, and the thing is that I think you do the classic knee, and then you try to act out with another aerial, and he just shield drop dares you and shines you.
Yeah.
So no, if you do like a laggy thing like that and you miss the tech chase, you're now at a disadvantage. You have to shield here. Or if they don't have a move like dare, you might be able to CC it. But the thing is that you can't knee and then immediately throw out another move unless they tech away or miss tech. Right? Or tech, like do a tech roll or miss tech. If they take in place, they have more than enough time to punish you. Right? Punish you, shine. You get pushed off. Good up air. You go for a crazy knee, but that's actually not a bad knee. But again, you don't do anything with the like you didn't fast fall it because you couldn't. In which case you can't really like beat him with a shield drop up air or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you just sharked him when he double jumped here, shark him, you could have hit him easily and he would have traded at worst.
You just dash up air.
Up air, like you can just wait a second, literally like you run right here, just wait a second until he comes down and then just throw it, short hop, you trade, then he's off stage, you can edge guard. The thing is though is that you could have easily done this and then done a shield drop back here, which would have hit him here, but instead you miss and then he has center stage. Good up air. You're moving so far away from ledge instead of just reacting to side B with the sound. I know it's online, but you should try to at least.
Yeah.
You're like,
I think I would have gotten a punish if he didn't shorten there, but that was a good shorten.
But that's the thing, right? He's gonna any good player is gonna shorten here.
Yeah.
see. If they're gonna double, so if they double laser, doing execution testing bear, I meant to say, is a lot harder against Falco. Against Fox, it's fine, like it's not too bad, and same with Marth and same with Sheik. But with Falco, it's hard because he's lasers. That's why it's better to, if you're going to, it's better to be close here and like either shield it or crouch and then jab him or go to platform. Like we have in the Falcon Discord, we have a bunch of GIFs that have the specific like options you can do to be double laser.
Yeah.
You can go on the side platform. Like
one of like Chef's favorite options is to crouch cancel the first laser and gentleman.
And then gentleman, yeah, exactly. You can do that. I do full hop stomp because it's the easiest. I do that if I think they're gonna laser low enough on the first one, because sometimes they laser too high. But even then, you can still just gentleman them. So what I do sometimes, I run off, jump back on bear, which is risky because they can easily double jump dare you. But you could run off, come back on, and then back air, and that would cover it too. In this case, you do a bear, which didn't really cover much. Like you did too soon. If you did it just a second later, you would have caught him.
Yeah.
You tried to shield drop and you messed up. Again, simple shield drops, you're messing up. It's UCF, man. This is not 2014 or 2017. Like you have the ability to shield drop easily on command as long as your controller is like functional enough, which it appears to be.
Yeah, it is.
You mess up, and then you go for a back air instead of, like you don't even let the back air come out. Throw another back air out, which is fine. You're dash dancing. You could take laser here, which is what I would have done. You did the double jump, which actually isn't too bad. And you do a crazy knee, which is honestly not that bad. But you got to be careful. Like, he could have easily come in with an aerial and he would have caught you. Right here, Nair's hitting you. If he nairs, it's hitting you. I like your movement here. Like, you're moving quick here. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is good movement. This is how you avoid. Like, now you're just speeding up. Like you're like a different player for 5 seconds. You're like no fast fall nairing. You're moving on platforms quick. You're L canceling. You're up air sharking, and then it all goes away when you do a full hop air, and then you miss an L cancel with a knee.
Then I start playing a game against another player.
Yeah, literally. Try to shield grab, you can't. But yeah, like you had like 5 seconds of greatness there, and then you didn't.
I think a lot of my flubs are just because like I was a little shaky from being grand finals, but
it's difficult. Like especially when it's grand finals, you're like, it's not like it's just tournament. Normal tournament even in itself is
the other side I linked is it's just like a TMT ladder game. So it's like it doesn't really mean like anything, but it's just a best of 3. And I felt like I was playing a lot better in that one against the Fox, but the Fox was also a lot better than this player. We don't have to watch all of it. It's
I'm down to just check it out. I think we covered enough.
Yeah.
That I don't really see like anything more and
yeah, this Fox was definitely better than the Falco I played.
Oh yeah, I can already tell. Yeah, you're already playing better. Except you're just
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I
play a little bit more crazy when it's not as
high stakes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, rule of thumb, it's easier to cover the low here. Like if you were to do a back air to cover low here and then cover the high, than it is to cover the high because he can just go underneath you, right? And then you might be able to cover the low and catch him. And if you don't, if he goes high, you at least have stage to execution test him. Because then now he got stage for free, right?
Yeah.
And you're potentially dead. Like he easily could have shined you there. Good stomp. Yeah, you just caught him coming in. That's good. He's not out of invincibility. You're trying to approach with not only a nair that's not even going to hit him because he's full hopping.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not even out for that long. Yeah, Fox, especially Fox lower level, can be really hard. He's giving you a lot of respect though.
Hmm.
More than I'm expecting him to give, honestly. And he's just waiting, up smashing. But yeah, that's the thing. Like if you don't overshoot and hit him, they're just gonna wait dash dance and then whiff punish you.
Hmm.
And you do, yeah. You know what? We're not gonna go over this because it's gonna be. I think we got like the main ideas down.
Yeah, I did take the second game though.
Oh, did you?
I did. Yeah.
I just want to watch this then. Here, let's just skip stock one. When the real good stuff happens.
Yeah. Actually, wave dash to ledge. I was happy about that.
We count the small victories, man. Again, yeah, the double jump on. It's so addicting to do.
Yeah.
You won this game?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy
That
grab.
was the craziest grab.
All because you dash grabbed instead of jump cancel grabbed. Oh, there's the SD. True.
Yeah. He SD'd there, and then the last stock was like really silly.
Not a
I
bad
should've
double
gone
jab
with
grab. Good double jump to ledge. You try to hack dash, double jump.
Yeah.
Actually, you're waiting good here. Good read, and you waited. Good knee or stomp. Good double jab again. Like you're not doing too bad. Oh, and
Yeah,
then
I don't
you
think that was supposed to be a dash attack.
Well, that was a dash grab. Oh, you're not that.
Yeah.
Oh, it worked out. We take those. But then you got a little bit too close. Get back here. You gotta be careful with these double jumps, though. Like, he's not punishing it, but he easily could be punishing, like, right here. Double jump up and back air you. Good up air. So why do you up throw up air versus Fox, but not versus Falco, man? Oh my god, crazy knee. Jesus. All right, true. Those are the kind of things I never do anymore because they can easily just fast fall down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just
I
you.
figured this out because it was definitely against a better player.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was like, probably more of my mistakes and more of their mistakes, what I should be doing.
Mm-hmm. The other set was better, definitely, to do just because you're nervous, so your actual true habits come out.
Right.
Whereas this is you just kind of playing around, enjoying, which is good too to also watch, but it's not the same. Good roll, even though that was like super early. Caught that. Oh my god, you're crazy. Oh my god. This is what I'm talking about. These kind of options where you get rewarded for it and it's just not a good option to do. It's such a crazy option. Oh my goodness. Like if this just missed, you're just off stage versus Fox and it's just like you fast fell it too. So like you're definitely going to be low and he can easily shine you. Or back here you or do whatever the hell he wants. Jesus.
That was just a funny game.
That is a funny game. True.
But yeah, no, I definitely I think I learned a lot from that first set.
Definitely a lot that happened. It's crazy because it's like a lot of the times I'll spend like 20 minutes on the first minute or even 30 minutes on the first minute because so much has
Yeah,
happens, right?
I think we were over an hour at the first minute.
Yeah, like it a lot can happen, right? Because I
Yeah,
also try to set up specific things that happen, like because your habits are shown pretty quickly, and then we can
mhm,
start to see those happen more often, and then the same reoccurring themes happen, and then I can pinpoint them easier, and then it starts to solidify in your head for you to look for it when you actually play, right?
yeah. So I know like a lot of my habits are just like throwing my moves at them, hoping they hit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you said to focus on just like taking your time with some of my own options, not acting too fast, and just practicing my tech skill.
Mm-hmm.
What else can I do to like play a little bit smarter and like you know what I mean? Should I just be waiting more, trying to?
You can dash dance a bit more. Um, the thing is I more so want you to focus on not hoping for things.
Hmm.
That's the main thing because the instant you start hoping for things, your entire game plan goes out the window.
Right.
So it's really comes down to like the point I was bringing, the reason why I brought up, waiting for certain things. It was more so when you were in situations or when you were panicking and
Hmm.
you're not used to the situation. That's when you should wait a little bit more. Um, Besides that, to be playing with more intentionality, it just comes down to, like I said, not hoping for things. You kind of have to get that
Yeah.
idea out of your head of like, I hope to hit him with a knee here, and you have to catch yourself in the moment and think, I can't think like that. You
Right.
have to start thinking of kind of what they actually want to do, and that again is hard because, like I said earlier, you're having difficulty even just controlling your character at times. So it's really difficult for you to even look at the opponent and kind of understand what's happening
Hmm.
on their end. So it's a mix of you have to get a bit better tech skill. You have to, stop hoping for things. You have to start waiting in situations you don't understand and think about melee more. And it just a lot of
Yeah,
things.
there's like a million things.
Yeah, it's really difficult. But the thing I would focus on for you right now is just stop hoping for things.
And practice my tech skill.
Practice your tech skill.
Play a
Be
little bit
more
like
fluid.
slight, little slower when
Yes,
I'm trying to.
slower, more fluid, a little slower, and then
Yeah.
if you're in a situation where you don't know like what's going on, just wait a second. Unless of course you're off stage, but if you're on stage, just wait a second, and
Right.
be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
All right.
But besides that, there's a lot in the VOD that you can look back if you want to.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely will probably watch this again.
Besides that, is there any other questions?
No, that was my main question, but yeah, I think we covered everything.
Cool.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna
I,
stop the recording.